This has been like by far the best model, and this is what we're going to stick with moving forward.
Why switch from a retainer model when you've already got something?
The idea was just like,
why did you end up going back to retainer eventually?
if I was going to do performance-based, I will go like,
Where do you want to be, let's say, in a year from now, and then looking to the future? Is it more agency, like just keep the one business, or is there something else you want?
Hey everyone, in this video I get to sit down with Graydon and Jordan Ursel, who own a multi-7-figure agency in the med spa space. As you know, that's not an uncompetitive niche, and these guys have pioneered something that's truly unique, and they've become a leader in the space, and you could even say that they have dominated their industry, which is very cool. There's so much to learn here, and I particularly love how persistent these guys have been with tons of different models, tons of different failures, and they're very transparent about it in this episode. So super excited for you to listen to it. But before we get started, our sponsor High Level has very kindly sponsored this episode, so let's talk about them for a minute. If you don't know already, High Level is the top sales and marketing solution for any business, but particularly agency owners or anybody that needs a software product to resell to their existing customer base. It has everything you need to capture, nurture, and close leads for marketing clients. And the best part is High Level believes in not taxing the agencies on its platform, so you can get unlimited clients for one low flat monthly fee. The best features include a CRM, funnel, website and email builders, course hosting platform, robust marketing automation builder, a consolidated chat stream with WhatsApp, email, SMS, Instagram DMs, and Facebook DMs, reputation management, social media posting, tracking and analytics, and so much more. And as if that wasn't enough, High Level is fully white labeled, meaning that you can take the platform and put your own brand on the desktop and mobile app and resell it to your industry for whatever price you want. Essentially what High Level has done is brought the bar for starting a software company way lower, so normal people like you and I can help our clients with an amazingly robust software without paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in development costs. I am not kidding when I say hands down High Level is my favorite software of all time. It has been integral to my success with my agency. It helped me increase my clients' results and retention, and I use it every single day for my own business. And if you sign up for High Level today, not only will you get a 30-day free trial, which is not available on their website, but you'll get all of the bonuses listed at itskeaton.com/mastermind, which gets you support, templates, and courses to kickstart your High Level journey and get those first few clients or scale to your next few clients. If you're already a High Level customer, you can also get all of those bonuses by upgrading to the next highest plan underneath my link. Instructions for that are also at itskeaton.com/mastermind.
Alrighty, folks, I'm here with the Ursel brothers. Super excited for this interview because we were just talking about before we came on air that this is a full circle moment. Jordan is actually the one that introduced me to High Level. And as some of you know, the High Level affiliate commissions are like second tier. So now that I've been like actually accumulating a good amount of High Level affiliates, Jordan's been benefiting from that big time, which is very cool. So he gets 5% of what I earn every month without doing anything. So for those of you who are like, oh, I don't have time for affiliates, if you can just get one solid person on there, have them do all the work, it's solid. So what wouldn't you say, Jordan? Anything to add to that?
Most valuable cold call of my entire life, I'd say.
Yes. So we'll get to that story later, but I want to start with you guys. Just give us a little bit of an intro on yourselves, how you got into business, like if that story started before the agency, and then how you got into the agency and both your, initial model and then I believe some failures of other models that you tried, and then now what you've settled on, 5-6 years later.
Yeah, sure. So I guess to start, we both grew up, kind of always wanted to start a business, and we went to college, and then we got back from college, and we were both we're kind of spinning our wheels independently, trying to figure out something to do. And we failed a bunch by ourselves. And then we kind of joined forces, and our dad is, he's an owner of a medical spa, and he's always been kind of a big marketing guy. And we just kind of started helping him. And then we realized that we could start helping other people. So that was about 5 years ago. And we've just been kind of trying a bunch of different things. I don't know, Greg, maybe you want to talk about it?
yeah, we tried pretty much every model. Like we started off with the retainer model, and then we were doing like a pay-per show model. We did that with Alan, like Alex Ramos's Alan, that came out like a couple years ago. We were doing pay-per-show, and then we tried to do pay-per-show internally with Go High Level, and that was kind of a failure. And then we went back to like retainer model, but then this whole time we were doing done for you stuff. So like we were doing everything for the client. But then only recently back we started this like this. So we went all the way to the spectrum of like we do absolutely everything. So January 2023, like the start of this year, we were doing like full done for you, but we also were building a call center as well. So we went all the way of doing everything for the clients. And then like we had lots of success at this, but at that point we switched totally done with you. So now the latest model, we do done with you. You like high ticket for the first 8 weeks and then more like a low ticket retainer, but we teach clients, med spas, how to do their own marketing. And this has been like by far the best model. And this is what we're going to stick with moving forward.
Very cool. So let's like back up a little bit on this model discussion. Why switch from a retainer model, which was working? I assume you guys were at like mid, 5 figures, like $50,000-$60,000 a month when you tried to go pay per show, or were you?
We were actually quite up there. Our best month was like $250K when we were doing done for you. A lot of that was like pay in fulls as well. So it wasn't like $250K every month. Every month we were doing over like 150 to 200K.
Sorry, but backing up, when you went from the initial like retainer model to pay per show.
Oh, the paper show? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, we were just about what you were saying, like 60, 70K a month.
Okay. And the appeal of the paper show model was like, it's easier to sell, or why make the switch there when you've already got something that's...
Yeah, the idea was to just like take more of the work off the plate of the client and then just kind of give us more control of the results. So that was kind of like the reason that we wanted to do it. We, like the initial thought was that we were just going to be able to get people way better results by taking on a bunch of more of the work internally.
Yeah, that and the whole 80-20 thing, right? It's like 80% of your clients, 20% of your clients will bring in 80% of the revenue. So the idea is that with paper show, you capture more of the upside because you're going to be able to make a lot more money from those whale clients that want to spend like 10K a month on ads. That's the big selling point of paper show.
And what happened? Like, well, first of all, give us a little bit more details on how you were executing it. And then why did you end up going back to retainer eventually?
Yeah. So like we did have success with paper show, but I think it's better for some industry. It's better for like some industries than others. At least with med spas, there's a lot of offers you can run with the med spa. They have a lot of different services, very like heterogeneous service delivery. So there's like Botox, there's fillers, there's lasers, there's body contouring. And with paper show, it's very difficult to like standardize the value of an appointment, right? Because the value of a Botox appointment is different than the value of a body contouring. And so I think paper show is much better for industries with like one very specific service, and like the business has like one basic service that they're delivering. Maybe like mortgage or like more of a homogenous service delivery. Mm-hmm. But with med spas, there's a lot of different things, so it makes that very complex. So I think that was the biggest thing that made it hard to deliver on the paper show. We've still got really good results, but also with paper show, it's completely different than what we're doing now, which is more like, it's like SaaS, right? We're giving them the software as well, and then also helping them run their business. Whereas paper show, it's like completely performance based. So it's like you need to be performing or else they're gonna like, why are we even using this agency? So it's just like two completely different ends of the spectrum. I personally don't know any like clinics, agencies in the med spa space who are killing it with paper show. Maybe we could have got it to work, but what we're doing now is way more, it's just a better business for us to run and more fun as well.
Yeah. And when it comes to actually getting paid on the paper show model with a local business who like, is processing and like, who knows what software, like were you guys processing payments and then giving it to them? Were you getting like, you get the upfront payment and they get a close to anything else?
It was kind of the mix. Like as we move forward to like a paper show with a call center, we'd be taking in all the payments. But before we were charging the client like per show. And that was another reason it was difficult. It was just like operationally very complex and just like setting client expectations a bit, like when they were charged and thinking like, why did I get charged for this person and not this person? And there was just a bunch of stuff that made it just it was just a challenging business to run. It just wasn't a whole lot of fun, to be honest. Like we tried really hard and we felt like we did get pretty good results for our clients. But at the end of the day, it was just like, it just felt like we were just kind of like pushing a wet noodle up a hill with our noses a lot of the time. It was just, that's a huge way to describe it.
What an analogy.
Yeah.
I was going to say round peg square hole, but wet noodle up. Much better. That makes sense. So let's say, I want to move on obviously from the paper show thing, but for somebody who may be considering that model today, let's say they are in all I have is one service to market for, it's a local business. I'm worried about the client. My worries that I've heard are like paper show, but like the person shows up, they could never afford it in the first place, or like they just felt like they wanted to show up and like waste everybody's time. So the business owner gets mad about that. So either they lie to you and say they didn't show up, or they're upset that they did show up and then they don't close. And then there's just other, like when it's not an online business where you can track every single dollar coming in, it's really hard for you to determine like how much you're owed. And then the business owner's like never going to be satisfied, right? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. If I was going to do performance-based, I will go like all the way to the end and not even do pay-per-show, but just do like a rev share model, like work with very, very few clients.
I see.
Like 5 to 10 clients that you work with, and you speak like a growth consultant with those clients, have a super lean team, maybe you and like 2 other people, and just work on like a performance basis as a growth consultant for those clients. And I think that's a great way to start, because you'll be working very intimately with those businesses. You'll have a lean team. Your compensation will be performance-based, and you'll just do it based off of sales, which is also a really easy offer to make. So it's easy to get new clients that way. So if I was going to start off with a performance base, I would go that way. And then as you get more experience, you can like start to productize it and do it more like a retainer model like we're doing now.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love that, because what you said about working intimately with your first few clients is so underrated. Like everybody thinks they're, going to go into SaaS right away and charge everybody $200 a month. And like the reality is you're going to end up working closely with that client, whether you're charging them $2,000 or $200 a month, because it's your first client. And so you've got to figure out how to capture as much of that upside as possible. So I love that. A lot simpler for them as well. So, all right, next up, you guys go back to retainer. You kind of had a call center of sorts up to this point, but it wasn't really a call center. It was a tech center, right? Where you had like virtual assistants following up with the leads for the clients. So you started to add more services. You started to add potentially this call center where you're actually calling the people. What was the plan? And then why did you end up backing off of that and switching to SaaS?
The plan was to kind of standardize the offers, the introductory offers that we were advertising as much as possible, so that it would be relatively easy for any given agent to like come into one business and then take the calls for them, whatever offers they're running, book them in and do all that stuff. And the idea was that we'd be able to like put in place enough kind of just organizational systems so that it would work and it'd be smooth and like it would just operate properly. But what ended up happening is that as we like got more people in, as we brought in new clients, and then as we were like trying to train new agents, and each different clinic had their own booking system, and there just wound up being so many different things that as we brought new people in, it just wound up being too much stuff to kind of handle effectively. And we just had upset clients. We had our team who was kind of confused about what was going on, and it was just around like it wasn't working super well. And in addition to that, there's also the ads. There's also like training our clients on like how to make sales, how to package. There's just too many different things that were going on, and it was a good experience because we did learn a lot about like how our clients' businesses worked and like the type of things they wanted. But I think we were just a bit too scattered of an approach, and we were trying to do too much, and so we wound up just like not doing it effectively. And yeah, like Greg said, if we were going to go back and do it again, what we would do is we'd go to one client, we'd say, hey, we want to blow it up for you, and we're going to work super closely with you. And then we would just bring in like 1 or 2 callers, and then we train them just like super, super well, make sure everything is super smooth before ever moving on to anybody else. But we kind of got ahead of our skis a little bit. And so we wound up, making some mistakes and didn't end up working out. But yeah, after that, we decided to kind of move into SaaS. And since then it's been going super well.
Yeah, and the whole like trigger to move into SaaS was ChatGPT's integration with Go High Level, because like I've wanted to kind of do SaaS for a while. It's kind of been like this shiny object, right? Like, basically sell the software to your clients and then teach them how to do everything. But the big bottleneck for me was that if you set up a software for your clients, the big thing they're going to drop the ball on is the lead follow-up. And so that's why up until ChatGPT, we had a team of people doing all the follow-up. And that was like a big differentiating point of our service, that we actually have people in there doing all the messaging for them. But that's very difficult in a SaaS model when you have like super low ticket, having someone do it for them, like people messaging, it just doesn't really work very well. But then as soon as ChatGPT came out and we could set this AI up for the client with their SaaS, now is the time. Then we launched it around May, and we were just like so set up for it because we've been working with med spas for so long. We've been doing offers for so long, ads for so long, that we were just like perfectly set up to teach them how to do it. Because the way I look at it, it's much harder to teach a clinic to run ads. It's actually very difficult to do that because you need to have such an expertise to break it down to like very, very simple terms. If you don't have a ton of experience doing it yourself first, it's gonna be very, very difficult for you to teach a clinic how to do that. Since we spent so long just like trying out so many different models and getting so much experience, we're just set up really, really well to teach clinics how to do it. So it's like a lot of things came together at a good timing. And that's why we were able to have a lot of success with this model.
Yeah, I love that. I remember when Jordan told me what you guys were doing, I was surprised because you were the initial initial like push for my agency to become an appointment setting agency as well as a lead gen agency, which helped out massively, by the way. Like I never thanked Jordan for that, but that was like, you guys told me it was possible and then we figured it out. And like, it's so much easier to sell when they don't have to follow up with the leads. However, I was like, dang, are these guys going to like shiny object mode? But exactly what you said, it's the expertise and like the time in the niche that allows you to move to this higher leverage model where you're mostly doing consulting with some tools and like everybody's happier, everybody's actually doing better, ironically, with you like less of your hands actually doing the work because they can run their business how they want to run their business and take what they like from what you say and implement it and take what they don't like and just kind of discard it for the time being. But it's, you earn your stripes, you earn the ability to go into a niche and actually be able to look at a situation and tell them what to do and have it work. And the reality is most people heading into SaaS nowadays are like set up for failure. They're just going to like take the software and do absolutely nothing different with it. And then eventually their client's going to come to them and be like, how do I do this? And they're going to be like, I have no idea. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, like a lot of the things we end up doing are things we were doing before, but you can just kind of, you can set up high level to do in like unique ways. Like one big thing we're launching shortly is a membership program. And like we've had this thing built out for a long time that our dad's been using. It's been working super well. And it's like the coolest thing about the software is like you can just, if you have cool ideas, you can just package it up and you can like move it out to a lot of people really quickly, really easily. You just have to have the ideas to begin with. And you kind of have to know like what's going to work and what's not going to work. But yeah, like you're saying, like once you, like when you get the experience, you can then just implement all kinds of crazy stuff. And like sky's the limit. It feels like every month we have like some cool idea that we're going to implement. And like, there's so much to do. It's so cool.
That's great. Talk to me about margins, because it seems like less, another thing where I'm like, what, like drop your retainer? Like, you know, should never decrease your prices type thing. But you guys seem to be having more fun with taking more home every month and running a business. Even if you're taking less home, running a business that's way more worth it per hour you put in. Talk to me about the SaaS lifestyle that you've liked, and then also just what observations on margins when it comes to the model you guys have chosen.
Yeah, margins are way higher. Our margins are like, they're around like 50 to 60%. And that's not even like with all our back end, because we have so many clients. This is only 8-week program. Because what we do is we charge up front for the 8 weeks, or high ticket for the 8 weeks. So we charge $5,000 for the first 8 weeks, and we charge $797 a month after that. And we have like 40 clients still on the 8 weeks. So we have most of our revenue still coming from like the initial $5,000 for the 8 weeks, but our back end hasn't really built up that much yet. So even now, like we're still like, our margins are nice and like it's way less stressful. Like George, he almost went crazy like multiple times just running the ads. So like he legitimately was like losing his mind trying to run all these ads for all these med spas, because they all have different treatments. And so it's very difficult to like manage like hundreds of accounts who all have different treatments. Just way too many variables to possibly standardize anything. So he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. We've also just recently implemented group calls. So now we have 4 like group webinars every day. So we have 4 hours of group calls every day. So we have one account manager right now. He's managing like 125 accounts, and people just like get on those group calls. It's super helpful because it's more of a community aspect. They can see other clinics getting help as well. So that's way more efficient. Most of the problems now are taken care of by like one of our 3 tech people. So like it's way more chill now. We like enjoy a lot better. Like I'm a lot more removed than Jord is at this point because he's more operations, but he way better for him than it was, way better for me than it was. Just like a way more less stressful. Like I don't know if anyone listening to this knows like Joe Polish of marketing. He's like one of the first marketing podcasts I listen to, and he says like there's 2 types of businesses. You have a half business, which is hard, annoying, lame, and frustrating, and an elf business, which is easy, lucrative, and fun. He's like, you want to have an elf business. And this is like the closest to an elf business we've had. So it's like, yeah, it's making more money, better margins, and it's way, lifestyle is much better too.
I love it. It's basically a coaching program with tools.
Yeah, it's like high ticket coaching with software on the back end. It's just such a insanely awesome model. I love it.
Yeah, and I think it's way better for clients as well, because like a lot of the feedback that we've gotten is that initially there's this kind of resistance to taking the marketing in-house because they think it's going to be so hard. But then once they actually start doing it and they realize, well, it's not really that hard. Like there is a little bit of a learning curve, but if you give them enough support and like you have like literally like every day of the week, there's 4 hours of the day where they can just sign in and get help with somebody, they realize that like it actually is worth it to take it in-house. And they start to think they things open up for them because they're like, oh, I can do this. And then like you have your clients starting to like test out new things, and like we'll learn about new campaigns that our clients that are working like from our clients who are are launching their own. And so it just ends up being a big win-win if you can just give people enough support and you can make people believe that it's worth it. And then they start implementing, and then like it just works way better.
I love it. It's funny because I'm essentially running the same business as you guys, but instead of having the software on the back end, it's just affiliates on the back end. So it's like coaching, like there's a course they can buy to DIY 100% with a little bit of support. There's a one-on-one program where you can work more closely with me. And then there's just the software or just the affiliate side for me. And for anyone listening, like, again, as a beginner, it's going to be tough to be the consultant because you're going to be scared to death. Someone's going to get on a call and ask you a question that you don't know. So you've got to go through the period. But once you're there, I find consulting so much more rewarding and easier because somebody comes to me and they're like, I'm not getting clients. I don't know why. And instead of thinking like a marketing agency where I'm like, well, we just need new creative and like new this and new that. It's like, well, let's back up. There's actually a lot of ways to grow your clinic. What's your end goal? Let's go through, 15 different ideas that potentially could work. And I'm running through those 15 ideas in my mind while I'm listening to them, tell me what their income goals are, their lifestyle goals, long-term goals. And then you say, well, we could just implement this, which is like 10 times easier than anything else you would have done at an agency, but it has like 10 times the impact on their bottom line as well. Do you guys find that same experience?
Yeah. First of all, clinics, they're taking a lot more responsibility for their results. It's not just like, oh, I signed up for this company and they didn't deliver me leads, so they suck. And I'm not like looking internally at all. So there's way more focus on like what they can do. And there's so much like overwhelming proof in our program too of other clinics getting results. And we like engineer it that way. I have this like, here's like a cool tip for anyone that wants to like, it's really important for someone to join your group and see other people winning. So we actually give out a free we give out a MacBook Air every 2 months. And the way people enter is like they post their wins in the group, right? So if they post a big win, they get like more points to enter in the draw. It's like kind of gaming it a bit, but people are winning anyways. They just weren't incentivized to post it. That's one thing when people join and there's like so much proof that other people are getting good results. That shifts the responsibility inward a lot as well. So people are like you said, they're not just focused on like, are they delivering leads or not? It's more like they're looking at all different areas of their practice when they're not getting results as well. That's been huge.
If you're not getting the business outcome you want, like marketing is one lever, but you can pull on sales, you can pull on ops, you can pull on hiring and probably get the result faster and easier while you work on implementing a marketing system that's more reliable and like align your expectations with the reality. Because that's exactly what I hear you saying with the clients taking more responsibility. What is reality actually supposed to look like when it comes to marketing? So important.
Yep, 100%.
So the next thing I want to ask about you guys, and another thing I learned from just like chatting back and forth with Jordan over the years is every time I message, Jordan's like, oh yeah, we did this coaching program last month. We did this coaching program last month. We did this one. And it's like a new methodically go from guru to coaching program to guru to coaching program and take the best of what you learn from that and implement it. And don't worry about the cost of like investing in more education. So first of all, can you speak to that? Like when did that mindset come about? When did you realize that was the right way to go about it? And then what are your top 3 that you've been through the past 5 years?
There's a fine line between what you said and just like shiny objects. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah, like we've definitely gotten a lot of benefit. I don't think we've ever like had a negative joint.
Yeah, like it seems like all of the like big kind of like step changes in our business have always come from some kind of like course we implemented. Like the first one, Rob Bailey's course, the
Nurture and Close,
your OG Nurture and Close. That was absolutely amazing.
Database reactivation.
Yeah, database reactivation. That was an awesome course that we bought. That was probably like the best money we ever spent, to be honest. Was his got a very good deal. Yeah, we got a good deal on that course, and we just implemented it like crazy, and that was awesome.
Another big one was so Alan, like when Hermosi launched, did agency launch.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. I think it kind of like that wasn't the right model for us, so we went off in a bit of a direction we weren't supposed to go. But we learned a ton from that. Like we learned a ton of like really good acquisition stuff, and how also offers like instructing offers from MedSpa. So that was super valuable, helpful. And then we joined SaaS. So then we joined Rob Bailey's program after joining Nurture and Close, which is all about integrating like all these high level tools inside of MedSpa, but it was more like done for you.
Yeah.
So that was the model that we kind of got stuck on before we went to full on like.
Yeah. And then we also did Agency Lab. I think that was a year or 2 ago.
And that was really good for operations.
That was really, we got a lot of it out of that one for like operations. But in general, like I would say like it was usually Grady who'd be saying we should buy a course, and I'd be like, oh, too expensive. But at the end of the day, like I think probably like 80 or 90% of the courses we bought, we wound up like using and getting a ton of benefit out of. And yeah, like if you can pay to go faster, I think Alex already said it. He's like, you either pay with money or you pay with time. And it's super true because like, you're gonna have to figure it out on your own. And like, it's going to take a long time. Like, if there was like somebody who was doing a call center course when you're around that time, like I definitely would have bought that. We probably could have avoided a bunch of different problems, but just wasn't available. But yeah, definitely good investments buying courses.
Very cool. And it goes back to the testament of the coaching model. Like you guys, like, yeah, the med spas that come in through you guys, maybe will make mistakes. Like maybe you'll tell them to implement something that doesn't work for their business for some reason. But the people that win don't blame it on the guru. They're like, well, that didn't work. All right.
Yeah.
Like, because I did that, I know what to do now. And that advantage of even going down the wrong path faster will get you down the right path faster. Which
100%.
And even one, mindset shift or one good thing they say that saves you a week or a month of something that you would have done otherwise is so worth it. So to anyone listening that is like struggling with getting money together or thinking it's worth it to invest in any kind of coaching program, it's the only path forward unless you want to struggle and bang your head against the wall for years trying to do your own thing.
Yep. It also just like gets you out of the place of like just doing nothing. Like if you get a program, you always have like if you put money down, you've kind of committed to at least taking some kind of action rather than just kind of not doing anything.
Yeah, or the difficulty of just like not knowing what to do next. Like that's a terrible place to be, and I don't like not knowing what to do next. So like even if it's the wrong thing, like it's gonna be directionally right. It's at least it's that unless you're spending the money on like something super destructive like drugs or something, you're not going in the right direction. But you're spending like at least you're going forward, not backwards. Like even if you're going super diagonal, at least you're going forwards, right? So
Yeah.
like it's still usually a good decision.
That's great. I love that. Okay, so what's next with you guys with the SaaS model? What's the goal? I assume it's a number of recurring customers or something along those lines. But where do you want to be, let's say, in a year from now? And then looking into the future, is it more agency, like just keep the one business? Or is there something else you want to do?
Just want to keep on growing the revenue. Like we want to get to, I think by the end of the first quarter of 2024, we should be able to get to like 100K profit a month. And we're pretty close to that. We're getting like our revenue is definitely getting up there. And then like, I would love to say we have like some amazing, like world changing like vision or mission, but we just want to like continue growing this thing. Like we just want to just make an incredible service, an incredible product. And a lot of our clients that are like a lot of our med spa clients, they're starting to use us for like their entire CRM. They're like, screw this other crappy like medical software that I'm using because they're all crap. They're like, why don't we just use your software for everything? So now we're starting to build a lot more CRM capabilities like scheduling, like point of sale and all that as well. So we're almost like becoming, the operating system, not just for marketing, but in some of these cases, like the entire business of a lot of these clinics. And so we just want to continue building that. We don't need to go super fast, but we just want to build like an incredible product that people don't want to stop using. And yeah, if you focus on that, the revenue naturally comes. But we want to do that while like keeping it super chill, because we've already been in the case before. We've like taken on way too many clients, just super stressful. We like to have a good lifestyle. I like to travel around, take time off. So I definitely like, I want to build like this full on lifestyle business that we're building, but it's also doesn't mean that's like a crappy experience with the clients. Like the clients like love it. We want to build an amazing service. We also, we just want to keep it very, laid back, not too stressful at the same time.
Yeah, I love that. Anything to add to that, Jordan?
Yeah, I'd say that I'm continuously amazed like with all the new things that are coming out, and I just get super excited just like with OpenAI and like all these different things you can build into your product, and I just get pumped up because it's like we've spent so much time in this one space and just learned so much about it, and now all these like new tools are coming online, and then there's all these other services and ideas that we have that can help our clients, but then we're like, okay, now we can just add these and just continuously make more and more and more valuable and just like make it better and better for our clients. Because honestly, like, yeah, at the end of the day, like the thing that's most meaningful, and does sound kind of cheesy, but like when you have happy clients, it's just like it makes running your business and your life just so much better. Like if your client reaches out and just like, oh, this was awesome, or you're like they post to win, they're just super pumped up. Like it's a great feeling, and it's so much better than like the opposite. So yeah, moving forward, like we want to grow it, but we just want to make the business, like we just want to make it so much more valuable for people that like they get to the point where they come in and they're like, well, this is insane. And yeah, that's kind of what we're aiming for.
Cool. Yeah, I love Chase Buckner says there's no better business than utility provider.
Yeah. He says that, like Rob Bailey said that. I was talking with him a while ago. Like, yeah, like what does someone do when their water gets shut off, or like instantly calling like, oh, did my credit card fail or something? Like that should be the goal.
Yeah.
Like, facility.
I love that when you said operating system, Graydon, that's so sticky. Like that's something you could sell, for a really good multiple down the line when they see how good the retention is.
Yeah.
And I love the focus on product. It's inspiring to see people. I mean, I totally agree on like the lifestyle. Like I want to improve professionally, but I also just want to enjoy the process. And it's cool to see. I heard the internet compared to like the gold rush. Like the internet is the gold rush of today. And, all of us, like all those kids that told their parents, like, I'm going to go get rich with the gold rush. They were like, you're crazy. And now, it's so possible to have this awesome lifestyle. For all the like Hormozy fanboys out there, I feel like nobody understands that that's the power of what he did with Gym Launch, is like go in there and tweak the model and then throw fire on the flames with marketing. Like it's not about anybody listening. Go read his Gym Launch Secrets book, because that to me contains some of the most like hard, cold facts on like how to improve a local business and anything else I've read. And he would go in, be like, okay, how can we go from, 15 to 20 people in a gym class? Therefore, we're that much more profitable. How can we, make people pay upfront faster, pay for longer, retention, like all this type of stuff? Because when the business is broken, it doesn't matter how good the marketing is. Like it just doesn't.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to have that knowledge too. Like that's why, again, if you're starting out, if like anyone's starting out, they should just go work in the business that they want to help, get that experience, and then just like work with a few people, work really deeply with them. I think that's the best way to go about it. It's not what people want to hear, but it's the best path, I think, most effective path.
100%. I actually, at the high level conference last year, I ran into this guy just came up to me. He's like, hey, like I saw your videos. In one of your videos, you said to go get a marketing job. So I got a marketing job and now I'm here. Like he paid for me to come. That's awesome.
That's sick. That's amazing.
Cool. I'd love to just close off here with you guys' thoughts in general on the SaaS model, like as people who are running it successfully, obviously with a twist, not just like pure SaaS. Who do you see being successful with the model, first of all? And what are going to be the key differentiators to build a recurring SaaS business that's going to stand the test of time, not just be, pretty much worse than a bad agency's churn?
Yeah. I think you have to have some kind of reason for them to come in other than just like the features of the SaaS thing. Like for us, like a big part of it is like we've integrated AI. And so like that's like a big selling point where we have like this kind of differentiating part of the SaaS where like we've got all that follow-up set up. And then, I think you need like for us anyways, it's like getting people in with something that they really want. And then once they're in, then showing them, oh, these are all the other cool things that you can do, and then giving them help with that. And then always just kind of like giving them like more information and more kind of expertise about how to get to where they want to go. And then just using the software as like a bridge tool to help them get there. Cause like it just doesn't really work if you tell clients like, hey, like here's all the stuff that this thing can do. They're just like, well, what should I do? How does this, like that's not really what they want. They want like the outcome, and then you just show them how to get the outcome, and then just use the software as a bridge.
Yeah, a lot of people, I think, I've heard that this on Facebook groups a lot. So like don't try to sell like a software. I think you need some sort of unique hook. Like our hook that's working well right now is, thanks to AI, you don't need a marketing agency. You can do it in-house. So that's like our hook right now. I don't know how long it's going to last. A lot more other people are starting to use AI, but you need a good hook that's not just like, here's a software. And then another thing that we've been really good at is like, you need to be like obsessive about continuously making your training and your course, your program as like simple as possible. Even in the past 2 years, we probably redone the training 7 times in the past 2 years. We even redid it like 3 months ago. And then we realized like, oh shit, like this can be more simple. So we just redid the whole thing again. You have to look at like your most inept client ever that you've ever gotten. Like you're like, think of the worst client that you've ever gotten that's just like terrible at implementing everything. You need to optimize your service for that person and just make it like totally proof. So that's another thing we've done. And then I think the third thing is like your pricing model. Like I think it really helps to charge high ticket up front because you're gonna have to spend a lot more time at the first little bit with the client. So it's much better for cash flow to charge, like for us, we charge like $5,000 for the 8 weeks instead of just charging straight like monthly or not getting as much money up front. So that's probably what I'd recommend.
Yeah, very cool. And any other observations? You guys are veterans now at this point in the agency space, just in general, or someone who maybe is in that struggle phase where they feel like, I've been at this a while, I have a couple clients, but it seems like I can't scale, or they're scaling, but they feel stuck in a business like you guys did at one point that just isn't very enjoyable. What's the path out of there? I think this is your guys' unique value you can share with the world. So I think it'd benefit a lot of people to hear that.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, we've been in that position just so many times that I think at this point we've just been able to accept that it's just hard and frustrating sometimes, and to just not change what you're doing. I mean, like, try new strategies and like try to like innovate and try new things, but don't just like give up and go on to something else. So I think that's like one of the reasons why we've been pretty successful is we've just done the exact same thing for like past 5-6 years, and every time like we think it's like not going to work or like it's all going to shit, we just kind of like keep going and keep working and keep trying new things. And that seems to have, got us to a point where like we know like a lot more about the industry. We've kind of like been through these challenges where we've had to find solutions to problems. And yeah, like a big part of that is just kind of doing the same thing for a long period of time and not expecting that results are going to happen like immediately. Sometimes it just takes time, and it takes going through those periods where it just kind of sucks.
Got it. Like see how many problems you can encounter, and on the other side of that is wisdom.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we've model hopped, but we haven't niche hopped. Like, we've stuck within the same niche, but we just done every model in that niche. And I think that's, model hopping is a lot different than niche hopping, because like we maintain our reputation. Like with each model that we change, we still maintain our reputation and expertise in that niche, but we gain more wisdom about like how to solve that niche's problem with the different models. So don't be afraid to like change the way you solve a problem for a group of people, but you should try, unless you hate the group of people, you should try to stick. If the group of people have a problem and other people are making money off that, like, why would you switch it, right? Like, the opportunity is there. You just need to figure out how to solve it properly.
Yeah, the competition is the proof that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there's a lot of competition. Yeah, I suppose, for sure.
Love it. Guys, thanks so much. This is amazing.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks, Ian. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for those affiliate checks. Keep it coming.